94.3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city. Good evening, New Haven. This is Moving Target, and I'm your host, Jay Kemp. And with me, as always, is my comrade, Remedy Sharif.
Peace, 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 peace.
What's good, brother?
Peace, man. Another sensational Sunday.
It is, man. You know what? I have to, let me just salute you, bro.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to salute you right now.
What's good?
Because everybody knows your true friends show up when it's time to move furniture. Your true friends come up when it's time to move furniture.
Indeed, man.
And you were there, bro.
Yeah, we got busy too, man.
Yeah, we got busy for real.
We got busy, man.
And listen, and it was, I wasn't lying when because that's what happens when a friend says, "Hey, can you help me move furniture?" It's real quick. It's like,
yeah,
upstairs, downstairs. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
right,
it.
right.
And then we had this couch that was an electric couch.
Man, had a whole motor. I'm out of breath right now thinking about it, man. Had a whole motor connected to it, man. You talk about struggling.
There's always that small detail somebody leaves out when they say, "Come help me move."
Yeah, man.
But you were there, brother.
Yes,
I appreciate
sir.
it.
Yes, sir,
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
But you got a PSA for us today before we get started?
Always what we do, PSAs for our Sensational Sunday. So my PSA for today is kindness. Okay. And I want everybody to really try to reflect on the word kindness. And what we're talking about here is we're talking about the nature of being kindness. It doesn't cost nothing. Mm-hmm. For our brothers, for people moving throughout the communities, it don't cost you nothing for us to speak to each other. Brothers, stop walking past each other without speaking to each other. And to be frank, I would recommend, this is my humble opinion, you don't have to follow it, I would recommend us to say the word peace to each other. Because when you say peace, it leaves no room for anything to be assumed. Sometimes we say what's up, or anything could be up. Let's say peace to each other. For our queens, for our sisters, every time a brother says hello to you doesn't mean he's trying to talk to you. Let's be able to speak to each other without assuming these different things. And what a lot of them do, we understand that, queens. Understand what I'm saying. I understand that. So keep it moving. If they try to add on and then keep it moving. That's all you got to do. But let's speak to each other. Let's be kind to each other. Let's find a way to be kind to each other and show each other some love.
That sounds good. I mean, I can rock with that. I say peace normally too.
Absolutely.
I know when I went down south when I was a kid for the first time, it was really weird to me how people would see you and wave.
Right.
I didn't understand that because I'm from Connecticut where we just look in the car.
Right.
We just want to see who is that.
See, in the ATL, my cousin took me to Piedmont Park. They was having a big festival at Piedmont Park. And I went there, and I'm straight from New Haven, and everybody speaking. Hey, brother, how you doing, brother? Come get a plate. They just offering, and I'm looking like, hold up, man. You don't know me. Why you inviting me to all this goodness? You know, we got a different mentality. So,
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, my PSA, I know you normally do them, but I have to put this out there.
Hey, Jay said he had to come
I had
with his
to,
for today,
man.
so we're going to rock on.
White politicians, stop trying to cater to black people. Like, just stop trying to cater to black people.
Right.
If you come with a black agenda, do that.
Right.
But don't get juvenile because you heard the song at your nephew's wedding reception, bar mitzvah. What's that song he was playing? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Tom
man.
Steyer, that's his name? Looking crazy.
Okay.
Juvenile. How much Juvenile? I don't think Juvenile know who he is, to be real with you. I think it was like, how much he paid?
Well, I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, we can't sell Juvenile short. Juvenile's an intelligent man. I heard some of his latest interviews, and he seems like he's aware. You know,
Yeah,
like
I don't think many people are aware enough of Tom Steyer. Period.
I wasn't. When you first said Tom Steyer, my mind immediately went to Tom Sawyer.
Buttigieg. I'm sorry. Pete B.
Yeah.
He left.
He dropped out.
He dropped out. So you only got Warren, Biden, Sanders, and I believe that's it. Amy Klobuchar. She's next.
Somebody better keep a tank next to Sanders.
I think Bloomberg and Trump met up prior and was like, listen, this is how we're going to get this money. You run as a Democrat, but start late. Put all that money up. And then it's going to be you and I at the end, and we both going to get broke.
That's what you think is going to be at the end, Bloomberg?
I don't know. I don't but think so. I probably not because Bernie got so much fire behind him, but I wouldn't be surprised if Trump and Bloomberg were like, yo, we're going to set this fight up like Don King would, with two fighters. You know what I'm saying?
Bernie is literally on fire.
Bernie got beat pretty bad last night.
He what?
He got beat pretty bad in South Carolina.
In South Carolina, right? Which makes sense.
Well, I think that from a black perspective, I think that Joe Biden will probably be better for blacks.
Why?
Well, one is you look at Barack Obama picked Joe for reasons.
I thought he picked him just because he needed a white guy that white people liked.
They didn't like Joe.
Okay.
So I think Barack picked him for a lot of his policy making. Picked him for Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Sanders with this socialist movement, it ain't for us.
Right.
He does not identify with us. So I'm saying if Joe picked Kamala Harris, we got a win going on.
Oh, I know, but I'm not rocking with Kamala Harris.
Why not?
I don't like how she handled her position as far as in terms of criminal justice.
All of us got problems. Everybody got a problem with how they handle stuff. So I don't think that Stacey Abrams can match Kamala.
No, I don't. I
And,
agree
and
with you on
so
that.
she will probably be the best thing that he could pick.
No doubt.
That will give that excitement to our community and to know that she has an opportunity to be president. One step away.
No doubt. So for those of you who are from New Haven, you probably recognize that voice because that voice is a legendary activist who has been out doing this work for years. So I want y'all to welcome Boise Kimber. What's going on, brother?
Yes,
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Thank you for having me on tonight. And hey, you guys are doing an excellent job. Let me say this. Let me say this to this community. If Juan Castile was not around,
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
we would not have this opportunity.
Absolutely.
To be on the radio.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm giving a shout out to Mr. Radio.
Absolutely.
Who's given black men and women an opportunity to practice on the radio.
And he's passionate about it. He came and found us because he wanted whatever we're doing in the community, come here and go do it.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so salute to Juan, and he's also guiding us a lot.
Oh, he knows this business.
Yes, he does.
It's sincere. It's a lot to be said about sincerity.
It absolutely is, bro. So thank you for joining us because we know your schedule is crazy busy.
It's crazy.
You're like every time I open the paper, you're in there doing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But specifically, we are here to talk about the not too long ago, the 19-year-old Mubarak Soulemane. Mubarak Soulemane, 19 years old, killed a state trooper on January 15th. And so
Martin Luther King.
That was on Martin Luther King birthday.
Yes.
So we're here to talk about that because a lot of times we jump on the trending topics.
Right.
And then when they're not trending no more, we don't go back to see, well, where are we at with that?
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that we definitely set this up to see a month later, or a little more than a month later, where are we now? So we're going to be talking about this. Call us up, 203-562-9430. You could give your input, ask questions with Boise Kimber, because a lot of you probably have questions of what's going on. But I really feel you're going to be very pleased into hearing about the specific moves that are being made to change. Because that's the one thing I don't like. I don't like hearing about broad ideas and we're not talking about specific steps that we're taking, So where are we at, brother? Where's everything at now?
So the family has chosen an attorney.
Okay.
Rubenstein out of New York, and a local attorney. And we have separated ourselves from that piece of it and allowed the attorneys to do what they do. What we are working on now is policy. With the state commissioner of the police department there, and also West Haven. Had a meeting this Thursday with Lieutenant Colonel Davis and the officers there in Middletown. We're working on these policies. Number one, this community do not know that there are 900 state troopers in this state and only 10 black.
Wow.
And so we have put a program together. They will start a class on March the 11th. We've been working. They have 17 blacks that will enter, 20 Hispanics that will enter, and that gives us 37 black and brown men and women. That will be the first time that they've had a number of nature, and I don't know when. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we are bringing them back to the community. We have invited them to run the streets of New Haven, Hartford, and Waterford. That they will get familiar with what goes on in Dixwell, Newhallville. We've asked them to come to our high schools, where a gentleman by the name of firefighter Gary Tinning started a program at Hill House with firemen and police officers, getting them ready to take civil service exams. They have agreed to come in and to talk with the chief of police and the Board of Ed to see can they start a program of that nature here.
So is the goal for that to make sure that if to almost say, well, if we have young people coming into the culture, then they're going to become part of a culture where they're not fearing the victim or the perpetrator that they pull over, or the suspect.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The other thing that we're dealing with is the fact that our legislators voted their contract that they did not have to give their personnel file to anyone. North does not have to release his personnel file. We will never know what's in his personnel file unless the state attorney who is investigating Kim would put it in the report. So now we've got to fight with the legislature. No public person who is on the police department or state trooper has to give up their personnel file. We don't know what they've done in the past. We don't know how many sanctions that they have on them. We don't know how many times that they have shot their gun and who they have shot. We want to know how many of these officers came from military background.
How many of these officers have domestic violence actions against them?
So I want to, because I usually like to create space for all perspectives.
Yes.
So just to push back on that, if I was an officer and I'm genuine in my intent, I'm not, I'm who I am. Everybody knows me as Jay Kemp. And if I'm an officer, I wouldn't want nobody in my files either. I mean, that's personal stuff. That's exposing, any issues that I might have had in the past, which could be used against me today. So is there, how do you work around?
You are a public servant.
Absolutely.
And we should know if a public servant who is patrolling our streets, city streets, state streets, we should know what that individual has done when an altercation comes forth.
No doubt.
And because that also shows their propensity for something else. How can you have an officer, man or woman, that has been reprimanded for domestic violence 4, 5, 6 times, and they're going to a house where a man where he's being called to a house for domestic violence? What's going to be his attitude and his stature when he gets there to try to handle that situation? So, that has to be known when you assume that position. Those things, it's a given.
I agree.
Public service, your record is out there. Everybody that would want to run for a U.S. Senator, President of the United States, or even local races, your record is out there.
That's true.
And so you can't hide.
Right.
And so now they can hide from their record because the state legislators voted their contract.
Right.
Voted their contract. And so they don't have to give their personnel file.
That makes sense. I mean, because they do it with politicians now. That video that you thought nobody was recording in the hotel room, it comes out.
Right.
Yes.
So why not for the police officers?
And I think the other thing is that the union is big bucks.
Yeah.
It's big bucks. And so they're fighting for their people at the expense of us.
We're going to take a phone call real quick. 94.3. Mm. Good question. Good question. Boys, you want to address that?
I don't know. And you know, there are sisters and brothers. They this is what it was built upon, injustice and justice. So I have no answer.
Caller, can you tell us who you are, sir? Cliff from Waterbury. Well,
Mm.
I mean, Cliff, you're right. It is.
So Cliff, can I
Appreciate
ask
you,
you?
brother.
So Cliff, can I ask you? Can you go to our YouTube Moving Target Podcast on YouTube? Can you drop a comment for us, and then we could collaborate on something? Because I've been very critical myself. We have been very critical of a lot of people that hold these positions in our communities, but have not stepped to the forefront to help aid the victims and aid us in understanding what's happening out here. So if you could leave a comment again, it's Moving Target Podcast on YouTube. And thank you so much for your call, sir.
Peace, brother. Yeah, that I have to say, you know, when it comes to the critique of the clergy of NAACP, you know, I don't hear a lot from NAACP, but I do see clergy a lot, at least having that, you know, addressing that conflict. What do you say to the criticism that has been in the past and even now? What do you say to the people that feel like clergy isn't making the impact they should?
Well, first of all, you have to have a love for social justice. I did my dissertation at United Theological Seminary in Dayton, Ohio, developing a social justice consciousness in a local congregation.
Mm.
You got to want to do it. You got to want to fight for your people. You got to want to call it what it is. And if pastors are not preaching and teaching social justice, they are doing a dishonor to the Bible.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
A dishonor. Jesus dealt with social justice. All of the issues with the woman at the well. You know, social justice issues go. It was social justice that killed Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
They didn't like what he was doing.
He was a disruptor.
Disrupted.
Yeah.
Healing the sick and raising the dead.
Letting us know we had the power that the priests are supposed to only have.
And we as black preachers, we have the power. We preach about the power. And so why not exercise the power in our neighborhoods, in our city, in our state, and even on the national level?
Yes.
That's right.
We're going to go to another phone call. 94.3.
Brother,
Yeah.
brother,
So boys, do you want to reply to that?
brother, I fight every day. I just don't wait until a problem occur. I fight every day. I deal with issues every day in this city, in this state, and across this country. Let me share this with you.
Yeah, if you want to, what do you say about him talking about what
took place?
Yeah,
let me say this. So we don't know what kind of night it was. Mubarak had a mental problem. He had a mental problem, schizophrenia. So we don't know what kind of knife. We have heard that it was a butter knife, and nobody has said that it was not a butter knife. So
now hold on. So hold on a minute, sir. Let's converse with each other because we're on ear. So let's converse. Let us finish the thought.
So even if it did happen, hijack the car, he did not deserve to die. He did not deserve to be shot 6 times, 7 bullets in the car, shot 6 times. He did not deserve. That's animal killing.
Well, but listen, the person that he carjacked. But look, bro. But real quick, the person that he carjacked could have been very scared. The fact of the matter is, they didn't know it was a butter knife. Let's say, whatever. The fact of the matter is, we've seen too many occasions where Caucasian people have accosted people with guns. What about that young boy that went into the church and shot all them people? That young white boy, but yet and still he made it home. So we're not saying that the brother didn't deserve to be punished for what he did or dealt with in the proper manner what he did, but did he deserve to be shot dead inside a car, bro? That's the point.
Well, the facts are coming out each day. They're coming out, and one of the facts are we're going to be meeting with the Norwalk Police Department because they are saying that Mubarak knew the individual.
Oh wow.
They're saying that he knew the individual.
Wow.
So there are a lot of pieces that still being worked on.
So, brother, we appreciate your call, and,
yes.
and we're glad that you got all the facts. So now you can maybe make a different assessment of the situation.
We got some more facts.
No, we don't even have all the facts yet.
We gonna get them though, brother, and as soon. No doubt.
Right.
Stay tuned. We're gonna keep them out there. Peace, bro.
Let's keep in mind, Jay. Let me just reiterate real quick again, man. I'll let it go. Let's really understand the fact of the matter is this: the young man was in his car and got shot 6 times. Is that a fact?
That's a fact.
So if the young man was still sitting in the car and he didn't put a gun out the window, he didn't use the car as a battering ram, he didn't put a knife out the window, there is no reason for him to be shot dead sitting inside the car.
See, the thing is, and the brother said that he was in the military, right? Isn't that what he said?
Yes.
So,
and that's what I have asked to see all of the state, give us the data on all of the state troopers that have military background.
Yeah, and I also want to know, how are they being trained for de-escalation? We've addressed this so many times.
That's part of this policy making, de-escalation, socialization.
Yes. Because
they have to learn our culture.
Right.
If you're going to patrol us, you need to know our culture. So that needs to be de-escalation, socialization, urban trauma. All of that is on the table.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. It's really important that everybody does get the facts.
Yes.
Because when you start to put that in the narrative of what they did, you start to now justify some of these acts that are happening. You're forgetting the fact that, look, they went through a whole lot of training.
Right.
All right? These state troopers went through training, boot camp, all that stuff.
Right.
Yes.
They know that they don't have to take that aggressive action towards an individual with a butter knife.
So here's what we have agreed, and they have agreed, that we will come and sit in on their training.
Ooh. Okay.
And we are recommending an African American company in this city to go in and to help train them and to talk about socialization, to talk about urban trauma with them. And so they have agreed to do that.
I'm gonna ask you something.
Yes.
Can Moving Target come and film that and record
Nah,
that?
I'm gonna go better than that. I want to actually go through the training. I want to go through the training, and I want to see what does it feel like. What do you feel like when you go through the training? I know I've talked to other people who said that when they go through training, whether it's a fire department or police officer, their mentality's different. They think different. They feel different.
Yes.
I want to know what do I feel like by the end of this training? Do I feel like I'm empowered enough to want to, like I'm high up on the hierarchy and I can just do whatever I want? Do I feel like that?
The thing about that's going to be conflicting is that you have to remember that a lot of these people have been raised with the mentality of who we are as people of color.
Right.
So there's something that's already set in place.
We have 169 little towns in this state.
Mm-hmm.
And so the people that are applying for these positions as state troopers are not from the inner city.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of them are from the suburbs and these small little towns who have not interacted with black and brown people.
Right. So what is the pushback that you see? Is it just the fact that a lot of these young black and brown young adults don't know that the opportunities are out there, or is it the fact that they just want to be
some of them do not know that the opportunity is out there. What they did do, they put 4 black officers on a poster and put them on television to say, "We need you." And so that is a start there, but it is much more work to be done. Man, I'm just floored at 900.
That's
right.
I'm floored.
Right.
I couldn't believe it.
That's so.
And
crazy.
so we're going to continue to work and to deal with policies, and we are making some strides. John Lewis is there with me. Several other ministers.
Shout out to John Lewis.
But John understands this. He understands it, and I'm blessed to have him by my side.
So who else is these leaders that we like? Let's name them. Let's name the people that are here at the forefront, helping with policy, even helping with feet on the ground work.
Well, at the last meeting, it was John Lewis, myself, James Newman, Jerry Barber, who is an attorney that has been with us, who understands and who knows how to interpret. When we first started out, Donald Morris, Stephen Cousin, but it's a to stay to it.
Yeah.
It's every day. It's a different fight every day, and it goes back to: are you really serious about helping your community and helping people?
What about the young adults? I'm talking 21 to, let's say, 30. I don't believe we see them enough right next to y'all making decisions. They're always usually part of a group that's getting trained or getting spoken to or lectured. But are we giving them the position to be like, look, right where we are at this press conference, sit right here because you're going to help us sign this?
That is a great question.
Can I speak on that, Jay?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, coming from that generation, 21 to 30-year-old gap right now, and understanding how the whole world is working right now, there's no pass the baton mentality, unfortunately, with our culture. We've got a lot of other people of other skin tones, of other backgrounds, who would gladly call somebody that looks like them, that came from the same background as them, to come over and learn for free. I can't pay you, but I can pay you with knowledge. Unfortunately, a lot of our leaders, they don't allow themselves to give the knowledge to the next generation because it might intimidate what position they're in right now.
I have no problem in sharing my knowledge. Listen, I have been with every civil rights leader but Dr. Martin Luther King. You come to my office, you will see pictures of me and those individuals. I have a love for, grew up in Alabama under George Wallace. I trained, I marched all over this country because I believe that the only way, I believe that the only way that we as black clergy are going to sustain what we have is that we've got to stand up. I said to my congregation, if you're not a registered voter, then you don't have the Holy Ghost. Don't talk to me about having the Holy Ghost and you won't go out and vote. I'm telling people now that people say I'm a Christian. I don't like that word no more because the evangelicals have turned Christian into a word of fighting black and brown people. I tell people I'm a believer.
Right.
I believe in the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. I'm a believer. I believe that he died on Friday and rose on Sunday morning. I'm a believer. So I don't have to go around and tell people that I'm a Christian. I'm a believer.
So what do you think about? Do you think there is an issue in the way that black clergy or even black leadership that is, you know, right next to you making these moves? Do you think there is an issue with bringing in some young people?
I don't think it's an issue, Jay, but I think it is not enough black preachers who desire to stand up and fight and train young. Let me say this to you.
Okay.
I came to the city at 24. I was, you know,
Where'd you come from?
I came from North Carolina.
North Carolina, okay.
But I'm originally from Alabama. I, went to school at Johnson C. Smith, and came on up the path. So there were men out there who helped me. There were E.R. Edmonds was a mentor who pastored Dixwell Church. There was C.M. Cofield who pastored Emmanuel Church. There was T.E. Holmes who pastored Community Church. There was T.J. Donaldson who pastored New Hope. There was George W. Hampton who pastored Shiloh. So I was surrounded as a young preacher by mentors who knew what to say and who was out there fighting for the rights of people. Right. And you got a new generation of black preachers that don't understand the fact that it's bigger than having an anniversary and it's bigger than driving a big car.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Let's go.
And I think there needs to be more of those preachers that understand that and understand that the generation coming after you is the ones that are going to replace you.
Yes.
You have to raise them up.
Yes.
Do you think the black clergy is very resistant towards younger generation because they might not be in church?
And not speaking to you, sir.
Not speaking to you, because it's not to you, but
some of the names you mentioned that I won't mention, but some of the names you mentioned, I'm like,
even if it's not that, I do believe that. But even if it's not, I think the overall look, I think it's a good time for you to be able to address the fact that, look, we need the younger people.
Right.
We need the young men and we need the young women. This is a movement.
That's it.
And we got to build a movement where individuals will not be jealous about who's in charge. Right. Our problem is we got a problem. Well, Kimber is leading this. Well, if you can lead it, come on, lead it. Mm-hmm. And we need to train our leaders, and that we have not done. There is one individual that has gone. He started out with Scott Marks. Scott Marks is probably one of the best organizers on the East Coast. And he and I worked together for over 27 years. And so he understands it. He understands it because where he started and the classes in which he took to get to where he is now. This is a real fight that blacks are having in this country.
Absolutely.
And if we don't wake up and put us where we are, we're going to have major problems.
Major problems. So now let me ask you this, right? Because we've been out in the community for a long time. Maybe not as much as of recent, but for a long time we were doing some hard feet on the ground in the hood, dealing with gun shooters, dealing with victims of rape, unfortunately, young women. We were dealing with the hardcore things, right? And it seemed to me as some of these so-called leaders from that community didn't want to align themselves with some of the people from the Muslim community. So how are we going to fix some of these things as far as interfaith working? So we could work as a body, as a true body, because there's one thing I recognize. If the sincerity that I see in you, knowing that you are reaching for the Creator and the Most High, you walk in the same path of right, or striving to walk in the same path of righteousness. So we should be able to pray together. There should be no big eyes and little U's, or if you ain't following what I'm saying, then it's not right, or all those things of that nature. That's my father.
That's
Yes,
my
sir.
man.
We
Yeah.
was
Yes,
taught
sir.
division, man.
That's my man.
Yes, sir.
At Hartford Seminary.
Yes, sir.
That's my man.
Yes, sir.
And he showed the ecumenical movement from the Muslim perspective.
Mm.
He could get along, he could talk to everybody. He joined hands.
Yes, sir.
We have got to not just join hands with Baptists and Methodists and Muslims, but in the movement there was some sincere white preachers who marched with Dr. King, who marched with Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton. So we got to build a big tent here.
Yeah.
And even, let me say this, even in this last mayor election, listen, blacks was everywhere under Tony Hawk. You look today, where you gonna find a black?
Right.
Now, they may say we got a black chief administrative officer. Well, he never spent any time in New Haven. But we would rather criticize this woman and hear this new mayor is going to raise taxes. We almost killed her about raising taxes. But now he's going to raise taxes. So we got a long ways to go. We got to fight it.
I want to pivot back to the conversation of the steps that you're taking
Yes.
with the police brutality. Body cams.
Yes.
I know that you're working on body cams in West Haven.
In
What
West
is
Haven.
what is the pushback you're experiencing?
Well,
with
the
that?
pushback in West Haven, we don't have the money.
That's what
And
they're saying.
That's what they're saying. And my pushback is that, and Carol Brown pushback is that this is an emergency in West Haven. It is an emergency, and that we are trying to hook them up with the University of New Haven and also the city of West Haven to get these body cams. It is us against them when you get stopped in West Haven. It is us against them because there is no body cam there to show exactly what took place. And now we're going to continue to ride West Haven to get body cam. There's a whole lot of little stuff goes on with 118 officers in West Haven. They say they have 10.
So the body cams that there was no body cams during the shooting. No body cams.
No body cams from West Haven because it was a West Haven officer who broke the window.
Wow.
And used their stun gun. What do you call it? What kind of gun is it?
Yes, stun gun.
Stun gun. And put it into Mubarak. It was a West Haven. West Haven had at least 45 officers there.
So 4 to 5 officers show up. One officer breaks the window, stuns them.
Yes.
How did bullets end up flying?
I believe that the bullet ended up flying because the man jumped when the stun gun hit him.
Wow.
And the officer North started shooting. And when he started shooting, and when he finished, he reached in the corner. I got the knife.
Wow.
I got the knife. Listen, the young man was murdered.
He was murdered. Point blank. I don't
blank.
care what he did.
Wow.
He was murdered.
He was murdered.
And how terrible have you been? Either you've been trained terribly, or you just lost all. Like you don't know how to respond in the heat of the moment. Because for you to do all of that to get the knife.
Listen, the officer was mad. There's another video that's out there that he either said nigga or he said fix my effing window. That is out there. So you know the
Wow.
adrenaline was going on when he came off of the exit. The adrenaline. He blocked the driver's side car. The kid couldn't go anywhere.
Couldn't go nowhere.
Couldn't go nowhere.
You could have did a standoff. You could have just waited.
With a knife?
Let me take another call here. Oh no, caller just hung up. Yeah, with a knife. So how confirmed is it that it was a butter knife?
I keep saying it's a butter knife, and they won't say that. So that's where we are there.
Okay,
I mean, until
okay.
they say it wasn't a butter knife, then it's a butter knife.
Yeah. It's insane that this could even be questioned of whether it was murder or not.
Yes.
You have all these multiple officers, bullets are flying after you just stunned them. Let's take another phone call. 94.3. Yes. Absolutely. No, we totally agree.
Yes, ma'am.
They're getting away with it. And we, yes, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. And he didn't have all the he right. And he clearly didn't have all the facts either. Because once he got them, he was like, "All right, well, I told you I didn't have the facts."
And I think the caller is right. I worked with Emma Jones with Malik when it first happened. The first day that it happened, and this was probably our first time ever dealing with a police shooting. And Emma has fought this to the end. And my prayers are always with her for standing.
So, Boise, we really appreciate you coming through. Can you just let people know where to contact you and the next moves that we need to make to support you?
Well, one, everybody, I'm on Dixwell Avenue. First
Yeah, you are.
Georgia on Dixwell Avenue. You can find me anywhere.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, I'm from the office to the streets, so you can find me. I got a cell number. Everybody in town has it, so just ask for Boise Kimber.
Boise Kimber.
Yeah, you can get it.
All right.
Hey man, let me hey, this has been terrific. You brothers are great.
Well, we appreciate you, bro.
And keep up the good work. I didn't know the hustle was your dad, man.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
love
sir.
that guy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I used to eat breakfast at Three Brothers.
Thank you.
Hey, take care, man. We appreciate
Thank you,
it.
brother.
All right.
94.3 WIBC. This is Moving Target. Stay tuned. We're coming back
doing,
at
man?
9 o'clock
Love
on
that guy.
YouTube for the second B-Side podcast. Who is owning? Who's running media? How do we get this media ownership going? All right? And we're going to be sitting down with a really great guest coming up at 9 o'clock. 94.3 WIBC.
Peace.